Hello everyone, good evening. We'll just wait for one more minute for others to dial in and then we get started with the session. Okay, let's get started, guys. First of all, a warm welcome to Fusion HCM Training by Gates. It's a first session for your batch today. I'll start with my introduction. This is Prasad. I'm a Fusion HCM specialist with almost 20 years of experience in HCM space, almost 10 years of experience in Fusion HCM cloud implementation projects as a solution architect. I've done almost 8 to 10 Fusion HCM cloud implementation projects, guys, for complex chains like HSBC or British Telecom. And when I cover the HCM module configurations, when I cover the functional and the technical skills in HCM cloud, I would be doing it from a real-time implementation consultant standpoint. Okay, I would be giving you the real-time use cases and I would show you how to do the configurations or how to build the technical components required for HCM implementations. And this is what I have an agenda for today. And yes, we will first briefly talk about what exactly ERP is all about, because I could see some freshers in the session. Yes, I just want to spend a few minutes to explain what exactly ERP system is all about. Then we try to understand what exactly this Oracle Fusion Cloud application is. We would also see what are the product families that Oracle has provided in cloud. And the first 3 points should take roughly around 15 minutes. And then we try to understand how does a HCM cloud implementation project work? What are the parties involved there? Who does what? So I'll give you a high level overview of how the implementation projects work. And then we'll briefly see how does a HR business processes flow. And we would also see what modules has Oracle given in Fusion Cloud to cover those HR processes. Okay, so it's like we try to understand what are the HR business processes that clients typically have and how Oracle HCM modules are helping clients to manage those business processes in cloud. And before we wrap up a session, I want to just spend some time to help you understand what are the job openings that we have in the market today. What is the scope of Fusion HCM Cloud consultants? And I'll also spend a few minutes to talk about who exactly can do this particular course. What is this meant for? And I'll also give you a high-level overview of what exactly we cover as part of the course. Okay. And before I proceed further, there's a couple of announcements. When you join a training session, you will be put on mute by default, guys. When you join a training session, you will be put on mute by default. That doesn't mean you cannot speak up. That doesn't mean you cannot speak up, guys. At any point in time during the session, if you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself, ask the question, and go back on mute. Okay, but please note that towards the end of the session, I would leave out at least a good 5 to 10 minutes only for question and answers. Only for question and answers. So if you have a question and if you think it can wait, please do wait until we reach the end of the session. And I'll be going at a moderate pace, guys. So if you think I'm going too fast or too slow, do let me know. I'm open to adjust my pace. Okay.
Hi, Prasad.
Perfect.
Yeah,
You spoke?
your voice is just echoing. Can you check from your end?
No, I think just give me one moment.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Is it better now?
Yeah, somewhat better.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So we'll get started with what exactly ERP is first. So ERP, uh, the full form is Enterprise Resource Planning.
Hello. Hi, Prasad. I
If,
think it's not very clear actually. We could able to understand and listen, but it is not very clear.
Sometimes the pitch is going so high, Prasad, it's like echoing from backside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Let me try to change the location otherwise.
Sure.
Yeah, is it better now? Can you just hear me clearly?
Yeah, it's fine, Prasad. No.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, I've changed my location, but you might hear a little bit of traffic noise in the background because I'm sitting closer towards the highway, but that's okay. Yeah. So we will first talk about what exactly ERP cloud application is. ERP, as you can make out from the name, it stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. In short, it is basically a software system that helps all the enterprises manage the resources well. Any enterprise has resources that need to be managed well. What are the resources that we have that we're talking about? We're talking about material, we're talking about manpower, we're talking about money. So these are all the resources that any enterprise has to manage and plan well. And that's exactly where ERP product comes into picture. And an ERP systems usually helps enterprises or organizations streamline their core business processes. So any enterprise, whether it's a manufacturing or whether it's a pharmaceutical firm, it doesn't really matter. Any enterprise has a finance team, they have a HR functions, and they have a sales and marketing teams as well. So or all these business functions should be working together, uh, and that's what makes it. An ERP system streamlines all the core business processes like finance, HR, manufacturing, supply chain, etc. And it brings in that much needed coordination. It brings in that much needed coordination. Okay. So an ERP product end of the day it's a software system that helps organizations streamline their core business process. Now, what are the leading vendors that we have in the market today for ERP? Oracle is one vendor, and we do have other vendors like a SAP, Workday, and we also have few more small players in the market as well. But Oracle Fusion HCM Cloud is one of the leading. You could. I mean, it's basically called as Oracle Fusion ERP Cloud product. This is one of the leading ERP cloud product available in the market today. And in this, and how does this application looks like, guys? And why is it called as a Fusion Oracle Fusion ERP Cloud? Because this particular application that we are talking about is sitting in cloud. Say, for example, if any client wants to implement Oracle Cloud, let's say I'm running a firm. Let's say I'm running a firm which is based out of Hyderabad, and I go to Oracle and say I want to implement Oracle or I want to use Oracle Fusion ERP product. Now, what would Oracle do is Oracle would look at what my base location is, and I'm based out of Hyderabad. My firm is operating from here. Oracle has data centers all around the globe. And Oracle would go to one of the data center closest to my location. In fact, Oracle has a data center in Hyderabad itself. Oracle would go to Hyderabad data center. What exactly data center means, guys? You have thousands of servers wired up. And Oracle would go to the data center and it would install this application on one of the machines in Oracle data center. And after the application is installed on one of the machines in Oracle data center, what it would do, it would share that URL with me as a client, and I'm going to access this Oracle. I'm going to access this Oracle application in cloud. I'm going to access this Oracle applications, Oracle Fusion Cloud application from cloud. What does cloud mean? It doesn't mean that it's sitting in cloud. It just means that it is running in one of the data centers of Oracle. I get a URL and I would log into that application and I would use the software, use this Oracle Fusion Cloud application software as a service. And I'm trying to log into Fusion Cloud application here as a HCM implementation user, as a Fusion HCM implementation user. And the moment you log in, go ahead and log in. And the moment you log into a Fusion Cloud application, this is what you get to see. Now, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to access an Oracle Fusion application that Oracle has installed in cloud, and I'm trying to access it with the help of a URL. So it is basically called as software as a service application, SaaS application. And within this application, so this is how the look and feel of the application would look like. So once you log in, you will be able to see the groups on the landing page. And if I go into my client groups, since I logged in as a HCM implementation user, I would be able to see various work areas related to HCM Cloud. I can hire a new employee, I can terminate a person, I can manage persons, and I can manage the absences as well here. So if you scroll down, you will be able to see various HCM modules showing up here. Okay. And so Oracle Fusion ERP Cloud application. This is exactly what we're talking about, Oracle Fusion Cloud application sitting in cloud. And in Oracle Fusion Cloud application, Oracle has given a lot of product families. Oracle has given a lot of product families. Like Oracle has a financials offering, and it has HCM, SCM, PPM, and so on. And within each offering, you have individual modules. Say, for example, if you take financials, you have GL, AP, AR, etc. And if you take the case of HCM, you have global HR, payroll, compensation management, goals, performance, etc. So what exactly Fusion Cloud application is all about? Fusion ERP Cloud application. It is the #1 ERP product in the market today. And in Oracle Fusion ERP Cloud product, you have a lot of product families available or given by Oracle. And within each product family, you have different offerings. Now, where do you see this in the application? If I go back to the application here, where do you see those offerings? I just click on the username. And after I click on the username, I click on administration and I click on setup and maintenance. Now, when you go to setup and maintenance, under actions, you click on go to offerings. Okay, click on setup and maintenance. Under actions, click on go to offerings. And here you will be able to see, all the offerings that Oracle has given. So you have finance offering, you have SCM, etc. But what is it that we are interested in, guys? We are interested in HCM related work area. So you have a product family for workforce deployment, you have another product family for workforce development, and you have a third work area for compensation management. So in Fusion Cloud application, Oracle has a lot of offerings, and in each offering, you have individual modules. And every client, remember guys, whenever a client implements Fusion ERP Cloud, please note that they are not going to implement each and every offering. No client implements every offering. And also within the offering, clients would not be implementing in all the modules. Say, for example, if you go to financials, clients would not be implementing, even if you go to within the product family, clients will not be implementing each and every module. Say, for example, if you take HCM, you have 20 plus modules in HCM, guys. You have 20 plus modules in HCM. No client would implement all the modules in HCM Cloud. Okay. Instead, depending on the requirement, clients would pick and choose. Depending on what HR processes clients want to manage in HCM Cloud, they would implement only those modules. Okay. So, and I've seen plenty of clients who implement all the modules in HCM Cloud, or plenty of modules except payroll. Okay. So in such cases, what would happen? We would have to do a few things from our end to share that information. Whenever a new employee is hired, we need to share that information with a payroll vendor. How do we do it? There are technical components would come into picture. Okay. So that's a first point. So you have Fusion Cloud application where you have different offerings, and within each offering you have modules. No client implements all the product families, and no client implements all the modules within the product family. So every client will pick and choose what modules they want to implement and in what offering. Okay. Now, one best thing with this Fusion Cloud application, guys, is these modules can talk to each other. So, for example, after you define an employee in global HR, you can go into absences, and employee would be able to log an absence. And after the employee is hired, we can go into performance management, and we can do a performance appraisal there. Okay. So all the modules within the offering they basically are engineered to work together. Okay. And not just within the product family, you have these modules also work well across the product families as well. Okay. So what exactly Fusion Cloud application is? It's nothing but an integrated suite of business applications grouped into product families. And what exactly Fusion HCM Cloud is, guys? So when we say HCM Cloud, what exactly are we referring to in this Fusion Cloud application? By HCM Cloud, we are referring to three product families, basically. We are referring to workforce deployment, development, and compensation management. So these three offerings put together is referred to as Fusion HCM Cloud. And Fusion HCM Cloud, it's a complete cloud solution, and you would be able to manage any HR process across the enterprise with the help of these three. And of course, you also have recruiting cloud as well. Okay, this one is also related to HCM. And the modules are engineered to work together. These modules are engineered to work together, like HR talks to payroll, absences talk to payroll, and so on. Okay. Now, a brief picture about a cloud versus on-premise. So, in case anybody is coming in to the course with on-premise experience, prior experience. So, So we're talking about this application here, guys. This application is sitting in cloud, right? That's what I explained earlier. But in the until few years back, or even if it is 1 or 2 years back, if any client has to implement Oracle HR product, what they used to do is they had to install it on premise. So what our clients used to do, they used to spend a lot of amount upfront, and they used to buy the required servers from Oracle, and they used to install them. They also had to maintain the teams. They also had to maintain a team. First of all, they need to buy the required servers from Oracle. They have to install them on premise, and they need to have a team to install that Oracle HR application on those machines. And as a client, if I'm a client, I'm responsible for, first of all, I spend a lot of amount upfront. And at the same time, I also need to maintain teams to look after that application. I need to keep that application secure, compliant, and I also need to keep that application up and running 24/7. I need to keep it accessible. So to keep it simple, yes, the software is installed and executed on my servers. I'm spending a lot of amount upfront, and not just that. Apart from spending a lot of amount upfront, maintenance of that application is also my headache. Maintenance of of the application is also my headache. I need to keep that application accessible, secure, compliant, and I also need to maintain a team to look after that application. All these disadvantages that you have with on-prem applications can be overcome. I mean, you can overcome those disadvantages with a cloud-based solution, and that is exactly where this Fusion HCM Cloud application comes into picture. Now, when I want to implement Fusion HCM Cloud as a client, do I have to install this application on my server size? Where is this application running in? Where is this application running, guys? I just mentioned it, right? 10 minutes back. It is running in one of the data centers
Server
of
of the
Oracle. Yeah, it is running on the server of Oracle. It's not running on my machines. Do I have to worry about its maintenance? Do I need to keep it up and running 24/7? I don't have to. That's not my headache. It's something that Oracle has to manage. So it's just that I would use this software as a service. I would just use this software as a service. And on a monthly basis, I would get a bill from Oracle saying that for using the software as a service for this month, this is the amount that you need to pay. So it's like a pay as you go option. So that's how the billing works. I don't need to buy the servers. I don't need to do a huge capital expenditure to get this application up and running. And also, I don't need to worry about keeping that application up and running 24/7. I don't have to worry about its security, compliance. And the best part is I don't need a team to look after it. And that is exactly why cloud applications have become quite famous nowadays. And you might have probably heard about cloud computing, right? So all these infrastructure as a service providers like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. So all those, the cloud computing has become quite famous because of these advantages. And these are just a few. There are plenty of other advantages as well. So that is precisely why what Oracle has also done. Oracle has a HR product on-premise earlier, but it has moved that on-premise application into cloud. And this is the Oracle HCM Cloud application that most of the clients are using in the market today. Nobody is using on-prem application anymore. Okay, and
Prasad,
what exactly
one
are we going
question,
to?
if you allow.
Yes, please.
Prasad, there are certain clients which, for them, the data is very secured and they don't want it to share with the other
Initially,
premises.
this was when a cloud started coming into the picture, that was the major concern that all the clients had. Security of the data. How do I trust you? Tell me one thing. Would you share your confidential information with me? It's hard to trust between individuals itself, right? So forget about the
Correct.
company. So that is one of the biggest threat that the cloud had. But believe me, you have enough layers of encryption or security policies in place that you cannot easily breach into the cloud security. You might hear it once in a year or a couple of years that there is a data breach in a data center, but very often I mean, it's much more or at least as secure as you have it in your on-prem servers. But those security addresses or security concerns are already taken care of. And that's exactly why most clients have already embraced the cloud solutions. And you don't see a client implementing HR on-premise today. Okay. And one important point that I want to stress on right up front, guys, I often see students getting confused between who does what. Okay, so and they also get confused between the parties involved in a HCM implementation project. Okay, so now let me spend 5 to 10 minutes here to make it very clear to everyone, like what are the parties involved in the implementation project and who does what. Okay, so let's take a scenario. So first up, you have companies which has HR products, right? Which are HR products, and Oracle has this HR product in the market today. Oracle has this HR product. Similarly, Workday has a HR product. SAP also has a HR product. It's called as SuccessFactors. So on one side, you have vendors. You have vendors who own this particular product. Okay. So we have a HR product from Oracle, Workday, SAP. These are the companies who have created that HR product. Okay. Now, on the other side, you have end clients or you have enterprises who want to use that HR product. On the other side, you have end clients or the customers who want to use that HR product. Okay. So let's take an Indian client so that we can all relate to it. Let's say a Kotak Mahindra Bank. It uses HCM Cloud, guys. I didn't just put up a name just like that. These are the names that I picked up from Oracle, Oracle.com site itself. Okay, so Kotak Mahindra Bank uses Oracle HCM Cloud solution. Now let's say Kotak Mahindra Bank wants to manage their HR processes in Oracle HCM Cloud. Now what would they do, guys? They get into a discussion with Oracle. First of all, Kotak would have evaluated all the HR products available in the market today. They would have done their own analysis, and they would have finalized that they want to go with Oracle Fusion HCM Cloud. So they go to Oracle and they say, boss, we want to use your HCM Cloud product. And what Oracle would do, as I mentioned earlier, it would go to the base location of Kotak Mahindra Bank, and Oracle would go to closest data center. It would install this Fusion HCM Cloud application. And that Fusion HCM Cloud application, a link, that URL would be given to Kotak Mahindra Bank. And do you think end client would be able to use Oracle Cloud application? Do you think Kotak Mahindra Bank would be able to use this Oracle Cloud application out of the box, guys? So you have this Fusion Cloud application. Oracle has installed this application in the data center of Oracle, and it has shared the link with Kotak Mahindra Bank. And when Kotak Mahindra Bank, maybe one of the user on their end, they log in, and they go into these Fusion Cloud application work areas. And let's say they want to hire a new employee. Okay. Now, when they want to hire a new employee, what exactly do they need to see, guys? So whenever you hire a new employee, what do you need to mention? First of all, you need to mention which is the company, which is the legal employer, who is the legal employer here. Okay, so Kotak Mahindra would have a registered company, and that legal employer should be showing up here. Remember, guys, since I've logged into a demo instance of Oracle, you would see some sample legal employers given by Oracle. But when Oracle installs the application for end clients, and when they share the application with end clients, remember, guys, you won't see any of these companies in it. You won't see any sample data. So Oracle has given the sample data only because for our clients to visualize how the data looks like. But when Kotak Mahindra Bank logs into the Fusion Cloud application and they try to hire an employee, what exactly do they want to see here, guys? They don't want to see India legal entity, US legal entity. What do they want to see? They want to see Kotak Mahindra Bank Private Limited as a legal employer showing up here. Yes or no? And who is going to do that? So what I'm trying to explain here is Oracle HCM cloud application or Workday or any HR product that you get from a vendor cannot be used by end clients directly. Okay, because Oracle is not going to implement the product as per the client requirements and give that and hand it over to the end clients. Oracle would just give its plain vanilla product. It just gives that HR product with a functionality plugged into the clients. So somebody has to implement that particular HR product to make it work as per the client requirements. And who are they? It is you and me. So for Kotak Mahindra Bank to use the system, they should be able to see the legal employer here, okay, which is Kotak Mahindra Bank again. And there would also be able to, I mean, we basically have to do a lot of configurations in the Fusion HCM cloud application. So we're talking about hire an employee, right? So let's say we go into person management. So when Kotak Mahindra Bank employee logs in or they come into the application, obviously they should be able to see all their employees in this particular screen. So who is going to do that? When Oracle gives this product, automatically Kotak Mahindra employees will not be loaded into this application, right? So that would be taken care by a HCM technical consultants. So the first step that we have seen, like defining a legal employer or on doing the setups or configuration in the application, would be done by functional consultants. Doing the data upload, building the reports, and so on would be done by technical consultants. So end clients, before they can use Oracle Fusion HCM cloud application, they would definitely need an implementation partner. So they would buy the product from these vendors. They would buy the product from Oracle, Workday, or SAP. They cannot use that product as is. Then they would try to understand or try to sign up a contract with an implementation partner. And who are the leading implementation partners that we have for Fusion HCM Cloud? You have Deloitte Consulting, Accenture, Infosys, and not just these three. I just mentioned few names here, but you have thousands of companies who can implement Oracle Cloud as per the client requirements. And who is going to work in those teams, guys? If you go to Deloitte HCM Consulting team, who do we have in it? It is like consultants like you and me who would be part of those teams. So at the end of this training course, you would be becoming Oracle Fusion HCM techno functional consultants, and you would be joining one of these implementation partners. And what is it that you would be doing? You would be talking to the end clients, understand their requirements, do those configurations in this particular product so that the clients, when they log into HCM Cloud, they would see their employees. And also when they try to do any other action in HCM, when they try to hire a new person, they would be able to see the legal employer. So all of that would be taken care by you and me, meaning a Fusion HCM consultants working for one of the consulting partners. Is this clear, guys? Clear to everyone? What are the three parties involved? Vendor on one side, right, who owns the product like Oracle, Workday, SAP, and you have end clients on the other side who want to use that product. But can end clients use the product as is, guys, out of the box? Yes or no? They cannot, right? Because somebody needs to configure the application and somebody has to do the data upload as well. And who are they? It is you and me, which are Fusion HCM consultants. Now let's take a brief look at what are the normal HR business processes that every company has. So this slide or the modules that you see here or the actions that you see here or the activities, all of these are very clear to everyone, right? So all of us would have seen them as well. So any company, normally the HR process start with recruiting. So if they have any open positions, they would post the jobs in the job portals like LinkedIn, Naukri, and so on. And candidates would, of course, apply for those jobs. There would be a screening process. We conduct interviews, identify the most eligible candidates, roll out offers to them, and then those employees have to be onboarded onto the application. Okay, so recruiting is a first step in a HR process. Post the jobs, identify the candidates, interview them, roll out offers, onboard them. And once they start working, we of course have to track their time, track their absences, and of course we have to pay them as well, right? Because nobody is going to do a charity. So we need to take care of their compensation and payroll. We need to track their absences. There would be paid time offs. There would be unpaid time offs. And we also have to, there's also a module called time and labor to keep track of how many hours every employee is putting in every day. And also, employees have to undergo a development process on a regular basis. So they have to learn new skills. They have to get certified. Remember, I'm sure all of you, or at least 80% of you are already working, right? So how many times you have your manager sitting at your back asking you to complete a certification, right? So it happens quite often because even when your employer tries to pitch your profile to the client projects, client would ask you, are these guys certified, right? So the skills of employees have to be developed on a regular basis, and employees are encouraged to pick up new skills and get certified, right? And we also have transfers, relocations, promotions also to be taken care of. And of course, at the year end or half yearly and quarterly also, we normally have assessments. So we want to understand, or every enterprise wants to understand how their employees are performing. Not everybody is a 1-star or a 5-star, right? So you have extreme cases, you have top performers and you have worst performers as well. So we need to assess who is doing what or who is at what level. We need to assess their skills and we need to set the goals for them. And of course, we also have to reward the best performing employers. So if you give the same hike, a bland 10% hike to everyone working in the company, do you think employees would be happy with it? Certainly no, right? So you definitely have to reward your top performers more than the worst performers. So you have to take care of benefits and rewards. And many companies are sponsoring wellness programs today. They pay for their fitness programs. And of course, when employee decides to leave the company, could be because he might want to leave because he got a new job, or companies are doing they might also terminate the employees for various reasons as well. So in which case we have to do the exit formalities and offboarding, right? On a very high level, these are the HR activities that you see, or these are the HR business process flows or activities involved in a HR business flow. And fortunately, Oracle has, Oracle HCM Cloud in particular, has enough options to manage all these activities, in HCM Cloud. Okay, so Oracle Fusion HCM has modules to manage all these activities in HCM Cloud. Okay, so you have a global HR module, and this is a key module and a core module. And this is where you do all the core HR setups, like registering a company, defining the jobs, positions. You would be defining enterprise structure and the legal employer and the legal structures here. You would be configuring workforce structures, hiring employees, and all that. You have payroll to take care of the payments that we normally do on a monthly basis. Take care of the salaries. And we do have time and labor to track the time that employees are putting in. You have absence management, right? So you have these modules to take care of the core functionality. And when it comes to workforce development, you have performance management, goals management. You have profiles management as well, and you have succession management. So these modules would help you to manage the development process of the workforce. And we do have compensation management. And this is where a compensation individual compensation or a group compensation. So all of that is taken care of. And we do have benefits as well. Okay, so you have compensation statements, benefits, and there are some key functionalities like fast formula, profile management. So these components work across modules. They apply for all the modules, not just one. So these are the offerings that we have in cloud. So if we go into FSM again, if you go to setup and maintenance, what do we see here, guys? We see compensation management, we see workforce deployment, and we see workforce development. So you see workforce deployment, workforce development, and compensation management. These three are nothing but the offerings that we see here. And within each offering, you have those individual modules. Say, for example, if I go to workforce deployment, we have global HR related setups, you have payroll setups, and you have absence management, and you have time and labor. And if you go to compensation, what do we see in that offering? Or if you go to, say, workforce development, you will be seeing goals, you will be seeing performance, you will be seeing succession management. So all the workforce development related functionality you will be able to see here. And if you go to compensation, you see compensation related workflows. So fortunately, Oracle has, remember guys, this is not a product that is built overnight. Oracle has built this product. It has been offering this HCM product for almost 3 decades now, 2 to 3 decades. It's not something that is built overnight. It has undergone many iterations, and what you get to see in Fusion HCM Cloud is a very, very well-refined HR product. And that HR product offers modules that are capable of handling all these HR activities or HR processes. Now, coming to the most crucial part. Now, the first question that you might ask is, Prasad, tell me one good reason why I should learn Fusion HCM Cloud. And one simple reason that I have is, it is a number one product in the market today, Fusion HCM Cloud product in the market today. You have hundreds of job openings available in the market today. And I don't want you to go by my word. And that's why I've pasted in a few snapshots that I've taken today morning. Please note that these are the snapshots that I've taken today morning. And how many HCM jobs do you see in Naukri? You have around 5,000 jobs. And in LinkedIn, you have around 1,000 jobs. And in Glassdoor, you have around 500 jobs. And remember, these are the number of jobs that you see in December month. And what does it mean is December is considered to be the worst time for a recruitment. Okay, it's considered to be the worst time for a recruitment. And if you and now in that worst period itself, if you have around 5,000 jobs in the market, imagine what would be the number in February or March when most of the new projects get signed. So it has plenty. Fusion HCM Cloud is a number one HR product in the market today. You have hundreds of jobs. All you need to do is master the product, go with the right profile, and track it. And if you just click on this hyperlink, again, I'll just show it to you live. So I clicked on that link, and you would be able to see that, yes, it's slightly 200 variation, but you still see those jobs, around 5,000 jobs.
One question, sorry to cut you, Sandhya. I think this was the question which I have asked you today morning when you had it. Okay, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, but can you wait for 10 minutes, please?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, and the second important part is, yes, this is fine. You have enough jobs in the market. And the second part that I want to talk about is who exactly can learn Fusion HCM. Fortunately, HCM is something, or HR process is something that all of us can easily relate to. So if I talk about hiring an employee, doing the HR setups, or if I talk about employee applying for absence, maybe a sick leave or vacation leave, or I talk about employee filling in the timesheet, or we talk about employee managing their goals. So these are all the HR processes that all of us can easily relate to. Okay, so I can make you understand how to do the global HR setups and hire an employee a lot more easily than me explaining a trial balance statement to you explaining those credits and debits. Okay. So fortunately, HCM is by nature of the product, it is something that all of us can easily relate to. Okay. And yes, education, if you look at these job ads, job ads, you go through 10 or 15 of them later today. It would say, most of the job ads would say any graduation or post graduation. So your qualification doesn't really matter. Whether you come with degree or BCom or BTech or BE or MBA, MBA is also usually the most, most of the functional consultants do have this background, but it doesn't really matter what qualification you come with, because most job ads say any graduation or post graduation. And do you need any prior IT experience? I get this question quite often from students. Sometimes people do come with a prior recruiting experience or prior HR experience, meaning they were HR a generalist earlier, and they have played the role of a HR person hiring employees, doing all the HR related process in a company, but they don't have IT background. So they ask me, Prasad, would it be easy for me to pick up a Fusion HCM cloud? Absolutely yes. So you prior IT experience is not required at all. And is it required to have a prior HR or HCM experience? Again, no. If you have a little bit of HR process knowledge or HCM experience, well and good. But even if you don't have it, it's no big deal. It's not rocket science. It's not a trial balance, or it's not a credits and debits that we're talking about here. You should be able to easily catch up. And career gap acceptable. Most of the students who learn HCM, or at least a few of them, do come back with that, or planning to come back into workforce after a career gap. Or some of you might have completed education 2 years back. For various reasons, you might have tried out various things that you want to do in your career. Maybe you tried groups, or you tried or something else, but it didn't work out, and you want to get into a job now. I have a 2-year gap. Is it fine? Or you might have taken a maternity break and you want to come back into the workforce now. Is it fine? Career gap, it is acceptable provided you give the right reasons. So this is something that you need to work out very, very carefully. And if you have a career gap, let's have a one-on-one discussion. Understand what best we can do to fill in that career gap, so that you get the right interview calls, and you would be able to pack it. Okay, so you don't have to really worry too much about what your education is. Do I have a prior HR experience or IT experience? Or even if you have a career gap, everything can be taken care of, provided with the right guidance. And what exactly do we cover as part of the course, guys? Here, it's going to be roughly a 60 to 70 hour course. We would be doing a 1.5 hour session per day, Monday to Friday. And what exactly we cover as part of the course? We would cover 7 functional modules of HCM. We cover global HR, absence management, payroll, compensation management. And we do cover 3 modules of talent management, which is goals, profile, and performance. And apart from these 7 functional modules, we would be covering all the HCM related tech skills as well. Like we'll show you how to load the data using HDL, HSDL, BIP, OTBA reports, HCM extracts, fast formulas, approvals, and customizations. So the reason why we cover HCM technical skills as well, even though it is a functional training process, remember guys, HCM space or HCM job market is getting competitive. So we want to give our students edge over others. When you sit in an interview, and if you have 50 people attending the same interview, applying for the same job, and if a lot of folks have same level of functional knowledge, they definitely need to have something to differentiate. Why should I hire John over Steve? And to give you that differentiated factor and to give you that edge, we would be covering these technical skills in real time, guys. Most of these tech skills, especially HDL, BIP reports, fast formulas, would be taken care by core HCM technical consultants, not you and me. But we would still be covering them so that you understand what you need to do in case they don't show up on any particular deal. And how do we cover these functional modules, guys? I hate PPTs. Yes, once you enroll in a course, we will be giving you access to all the material that you're seeing on screen. But we're not going to do a PPT-based training. Every session that we do would be hands-on, and I would love to spend 90% of the time within the application itself. PPTs are only for your reference. And the way we approach these modules is, in general, on day one, I give you a good overview of what each module is all about. Say, for example, if you're starting off with absence management, I'll give you a good overview of what absence management is all about. And I'll also introduce you to some use cases. Like I'll talk about what are the leave plans that usually clients ask us to implement. Sick leave, vacation leave, maternity leave, paternity leave, and so on. And the next few days, I'll show you how to do the configurations in the application for that particular module. And on the last day, so a day one overview, next few days, we do the setups. And on the last day, we do the transactions using the setups done. We log in as an employee, apply for a leave, we log in as a manager, approve the leave, and so on. So that way you understand how client is going to use the system we configure. So that is the approach that we're going to follow for each of these modules. Overview on day one. Next few days, we will be doing the setups. And on the last day, we do the transactions. And for technical, we'll be taking a real-time use cases, and I'll show you how they work. We'll stop here for today, guys. Any questions from anyone? And please raise your hand. I'll call out the name, take the question, and then you can go back on mute. Yes, Melvin, please go on.
Hi, Prasad. In this configurations, will you be covering like the legal entity setup and as well as setting up the general ledger?
Not the general ledger, but we will be in the core HR setups as part of our global HR configurations. As part of our global HR configuration. So these are the setups that we're going to do as part of our global HR setups. We will be doing enterprise and legal entity configurations. We would be configuring the workforce structures. We would be configuring the location, organization, business units, etc. But we don't go into GL part.
So for transferring the payroll data to GL, like typically what
we would just use a seeded ledger given by Oracle.
Okay.
Yeah, even in real time, you don't worry about it because you're not going to configure a GL as a HCM consultant.
Okay. And does the course, do you provide like a configuration workbook, Prasad, that we can use step by step as to what setups need to be done for implementation?
Yes, we'll give you a config questionnaire and we'll give you a config workbook of one of the module, but typically global HR. See, what we normally do is when we do an implementation project, we first send out a questionnaire to the client, asking them a few questions like how many business units they have, what departments they have, what locations they operate from, etc. And based on the responses we get to the questionnaire, we prepare a config workbook. So we'll be sharing both the config questionnaire and a workbook with you so that you open up a questionnaire and you look at the workbook and you would understand how we have prepared it. And if you look at that config workbook and if you follow the instructions, you should be able to do the configurations. And by the time I share that config workbook, all of us would have implemented together these modules in the application. And you know very well how these modules work. And the moment you open that config workbook, you know what exactly client has done.
The config workbook is only for global HR, or is it for the remaining 6 modules as well?
We have it for global HR, but if you want, I can get it for other modules also. But you would not be, and one important point here is, so when we say we cover 7 modules, you're not going to, you don't need to master each and every module. If you master at least 4 out of these 7, any 4 out of these 7, that should be more than enough for you to get a job. Yes, Kopi.
Thank you. Thanks.
Hello, Prasad.
Prasad, one question. The payroll point of view. So would you be covering any specific legislation
we would be doing a global payroll, and we would be, when it comes to doing few payroll setups, localization or the legislation comes into picture, we would be using UK as an example. Most of the payroll setups are global, and whatever those payroll setups are, which are specific to localization or legally specific to the legislation, then we use UK in there.
Excellent. I think that would be more helpful because I'm working in UK, so it is definitely helpful. And another question, I think when you are explaining about fast formulas and all, so you mentioned that will be doing core HR team,
Technical
not we.
consultant.
So what does it mean actually?
It
Who
basically
is
means
core
that we don't.
user?
Okay. I said, okay, if we go back to that slide, we said there would be HCM consultants working in consulting firms implementing Fusion HCM for our clients, right? So
Yeah.
in that Fusion HCM team, you have two teams again. You have a Fusion HCM functional team and you have Fusion HCM technical team. And when
Yeah.
I say we don't write that fast formulas, I was referring to us as a Fusion HCM functional consultants. We don't do it. It would be done by the technical consultants.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So one more question, I think not related to today's topic. I think in general, what I see, I'm working as a technical consultant, Prasad. Okay. I'm purely into technical. I have 18 years of experience in e-business suite, and last couple of years I'm working in the Oracle Cloud. Okay. So try to put up the say that I have a functional knowledge. So people ask like how much percentage. If I say that I am a techno-functional consultant, people ask how much percentage you have knowledge in functional and how much knowledge in technical. How do we manage that thing? Because I'm planning to cover both, right? We are covering both technical and as well as functional.
Your answer is 75% functional, 25% technical, or 70-30. That's a split
Okay.
we're going to give.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Baba, please go on. Baba, please, so
Yes, my question is that if on the answer you gave the other time that we need to learn only 4 of those areas, and if we go for an interview and they are asking you all the other rest, how are you going to manage the question?
You don't give them that chance. You say that I'm a master of these modules, so please focus on them. You might probably, and if you're not, say for example, we do 7 modules, okay? You might be very much comfortable with first 4 modules, or you might be comfortable with the first 2 and last 2. And what do? You would prepare your profile in such a way that it highlights those modules more than the rest.
Okay.
Yes, Kabir.
Hi, sir. Like I have an experience of 10 years in MNCs, but I don't have any experience in IT or in functional kind of. So like now if I'm learning, so that will be easy for me to merge my career from non-technical side to technical side. I mean to say from operations to Oracle Fusion.
So it needs a detailed discussion. I need to understand what company you work for, what was your designation. So can you give me a call on this number probably tomorrow after 10 a.m.? We'll have a detailed discussion around it and I can guide you on it. Okay.
Okay, then I will.
It would take a bit of time. I don't want to do it in front of everyone.
Okay, done. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Muzammil, please go on.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, all.
Yeah, very good.
Good evening. Actually, my question is, first of all, I will introduce to me. I'm just having experience in Oracle EBS R12.2, not in Fusion, and as a HCM consultant. So I have techno-functional feature that like the experience for that. But how this training help me for techno and functional? If I go for this training only for Fusion HCM, so it will be able to cover me and launch me as a Fusion consultant.
As a Fusion HCM techno-functional consultant is what you would become at the end of the course, provided you attend all the sessions that we do, practice what I cover in those sessions. And if I show you a few use cases, maybe we build a couple of reports, you try out a couple of more additional reports. So yes, you're becoming a Fusion HCM consultant, primarily a functional consultant, but with very good exposure to technical skills. And you can target only functional, or you can target techno-functional, or you can also target only the technical skills as well. But I would say focus on the first 2, the plain functional.
So how many?
And
sorry to interrupt. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, you should be
go ahead,
targeting functional jobs primarily, and a techno-functional as well. But you should not target only the technical jobs as such.
Okay, but one thing, like in Oracle EBS R12.2, there are OAF development, extension development, this type of technical consultants are there.
Okay.
I don't have the OAF experience currently. So this HCM technical for Fusion, it will cover all the Fusion technical part, or is there anything that is not covering in this training?
But there's nothing, there's no technical skills that we have missed as part of HCM technical. Okay. And OAF is not part of Fusion Cloud. So those screens, the screens that you're seeing in Fusion Cloud are not built using OAF as such. Yes,
Okay.
there are some personalization options available in Fusion HCM Cloud, and we usually do it with the help of a sandbox. Okay, and we would be covering those UI customizations as well. But one thing I want to make it very clear is we are covering all the technical skills, but we would be covering them to a level that you need to know as a Fusion HCM functional consultant. Okay. So for example, if you take the case of a fast formula,
Yeah.
believe me, you can teach this particular topic alone for 100 hours. Okay.
Yes.
It is so deep and so vast that I can spend the entire 100 hours only on the fast formulas. But are we going to spend 100 hours there? No, we'll probably spend 2 to 3 hours. But does that mean I only learn ABC and you're throwing me out in the job market? Not really. We would be covering these technical skills to a level that you need to know as a functional consultant. When somebody interviews you for a primary functional role and they expect you to know a little bit of tech skills, and we cover these technical skills to that particular level. Okay. Because you also have another person called HCM technical consultant, and that person would only be doing these technical work.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That sounds good. And the last thing before you move to the another participant regarding for this workbooks. So you will provide us the detailed workbook so that we will refer that one in
You can
future.
refer to that. Yes. Yeah. And
So
one
for example, for fast formula, as you said, it is
formula,
taken.
we will see how to create two to three,
No,
four formulas.
no.
I'll show.
My question. Like in Oracle EBS R12.2, we have a one reference book issued from the Oracle. It is only for the fast formula. So I got more help from there. It is a standard one. So will you provide your worksheet or something that's cover all the fast formulas that is covering different scenarios and different things? So you will not cover in the training part for 3 hours, but we can refer as a reference as a key book.
Yeah, to be frank, I don't have any such document for fast formulas, but I have enough contacts so that I can get you some sort of a reference cookbook for you, so that you can refer back to it at a later point when you have to build a fast formula that we didn't cover in the sessions. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Any other questions from anyone?
Prasad, one general thought, if you allow. I mean, like, why is it necessary for technical consultant to switch to functional consultant? Itself, functional consultant jobs are very competitive. Now, I mean, like adding to it, it's like adding an injury to the salt by adding the technical consultant switching to functional, because functional consultant, it's quite difficult for them to switch to technical or to learn technical, because technical is something like they need to understand from the basic core that they go through it with the BTech, with the MCA grads.
Correct. Yeah, but the reason is very simple. It's a survival game, if I have to put it that way. So HCM technical learning functional for two reasons. It could be that they might have already hit the saturation levels in terms of salary or compensation, and when they try to switch a job, they might have been told by a couple of firms that, boss, you're already paid 2x more than you should have been. That could be one reason. Another reason is they might be their job might be at risk. Those are the two scenarios where I've seen technical consultants picking up functional skills. But what you said is absolutely right. Technical picking up functional is far more easier than functional picking up a technical. Absolutely. But unfortunately, yes, we have to compete with the core technical folks as well. But that's That's a truth that we have to live with.
So it's more like a Squid Game truth, bitter truth. Anyway, thank you, Prasad, for answering it.
Thank you. Yes, Shay, please go on.
Yeah, Prasad. So what is the timing? Like it will be like some 8 to 9:30, right?
That's correct. Monday to Friday.
Monday to Friday itself. Yeah, okay. So Saturday and Sunday will be off.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. That's it.
Yes, Kritika, please go on.
So Prasad, I just want to know like what is the percentage of functional you'll be taking and technical you'll be taking?
70-30.
70-30 into technical, right?
Yes.
Okay. So technical includes any coding or scripting? Is there anything like that?
If you look at these technical skills, right, the only part where you have coding is you have coding in fast formulas. You don't call it coding. It's a plain English syntax that you write there, but it can get really complex. So fast formulas is one place where you have a little bit of coding involved, and you do have a coding involved in BIP reports. When you create a data model, you would be writing a SQL query there. So these are the two places where you have a bit of coding involved. But believe me, in real time, even if Kirtika does 3 or 4 Fusion HCM implementation projects, she might have probably not created even one BIP or fast formula because there is somebody else paid for it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
So even as a functional consultant, I don't need to know about the
You
fast
don't
formulas,
have to.
right?
And what I would recommend is if you don't have or if you hate coding, skip these two components from your resume. It is absolutely fine.
Okay, so one more thing, I have like 5 years of experience into IT recruitment. So what is the chance of getting a job as a fresher? Even I'm okay with a fresher job.
If you want to try out for a job as a fresher with 5 years of recruitment experience, recruitment experience, it would still be counted as a domain experience. If it takes a person with a prior HR experience, maybe Oracle EBS HR or PeopleSoft HR or any other HR experience, if it takes 2 months for them to get a job after the course, it might take 4 months for you to get a job. Okay. So if you want to keep it plain and simple and completely genuine. But what we usually see students do is they don't fake anything. They don't change their company. They don't change the pay slips. We are strictly against it as well. But the only thing that we ask or suggest students to do is whatever role that you're playing today, try to show it as somewhat related to Fusion HCM Cloud. Maybe you're doing a recruitment. If it is a good consulting firm that you're working as a HR recruitment specialist in, then you say that you're probably using or your company is using Oracle Fusion HCM Cloud, and you say that you're performing all those HR activities in Fusion HCM Cloud itself, right? So we can have a detailed discussion around this. Let's not have it here. You can call me on this number tomorrow after 10 and we'll have a detailed discussion around it.
And one more thing, like currently in our company, we are using the Oracle as a end user, like to weblog or creating the offer and all.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was talking about. So what you do is, see, there are 3 ways you can show your experience as: domain experience, end user experience, or current HCM consultant experience. Or there's also one more thing in between the end user and HCM consultant. There's something called as a super user or a HR administrator in HCM Cloud itself. So once I understand what is the exact role that you're doing in your current job, we can probably suggest what is the role that you can put in your profile so that you show your or make your experience relevant as per the HCM consultant requirements so that clients call you or employers call you and you get a job to clear the interview and get on with it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Prasad. Thank you so much.
Rashmi, please go on. I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Prasad, one more question. So after the daily, you'll be taking the session, right? So what is my suggestion is like after the session, if you give the practice session, something if you give us, then it will be very helpful for us, Prasad.
We're not doing a nursery here. We're not
No,
doing
no, no, no. For us reference, for us to
Ravi.
practice.
No,
That's all. Don't ask us anything, okay? For us to practice only.
Please hear me out once. Please hear me out. Okay. when we do the sessions, so today we didn't basically configure anything in HCM. Okay, but say for example tomorrow or when we do the say legal entity session. Okay, what exactly are we going to do in the session? I'm going to take you to Fusion HCM Cloud application. I'm going to take you to Fusion HCM Cloud application, and I'm going to show you how to do these configurations in the application. And what is my expectation? At the end of the session, you log into Fusion HCM Cloud. You do these same setups, looking at the recording, practice it in the application, and you practice along, not within the session or after the session is done. You go ahead and practice whatever configurations I'm going to show in the session. First, you do that, and after you're done with it, you tell me, I'll give you a few more use cases that you can try out at the end. Okay, but there's nothing like a classwork and a homework here. We
No,
would,
that's what I asked. Same question.
yeah, the same thing. Yeah, we would see when we do the training sessions. Do you think I'm going to run through the PPTs and say session is done? Definitely no.
No.
I hate PPTs to be frank. So we would be spending 90% of the time in HCM cloud application. I'll take you to the screens, explain the setups, do the setups in the application. My expectation is, yes, Rashmi would log into the system tomorrow morning whenever she gets time, goes to the same, performs the same setups that I've done in the session. Obviously, she would be stuck at some point or the other. And I expect you to come back with a list of questions and say, hey, Prasad, I didn't understand this particular point. Can you please repeat? Okay, yes, we would be doing it that way only.
Okay,
So that's the only way you learn, to keep it simple.
Okay. Thank you, Prasad.
Thank you. Any other questions from anyone before we wrap it up? We have a participant from classroom here. You have any questions? No. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, guys. See you same time tomorrow. And we would be starting off with a navigation in Fusion HCM Cloud. And one important point, guys, in case anybody has made a fee payment but did not receive an onboarding email yet, do let me know on this number, because today afternoon we have sent out onboarding emails to everyone who has already made a payment. And if you want to check out one more session before you make that final decision, absolutely fine. You can check out tomorrow's session as well. Join the same time, same Zoom link, and after tomorrow's session, you can take that decision. But if you have made a payment, half an hour or 1 hour before a session, and if you have not received onboarding email, do let me know. I'll ask admin to send it out tomorrow. Okay. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.